There is an investigation that ultimately proves that at the time of the shooting, it was legally justified. I don't think that even matters at this point because there is so much outrage and concern around what is happening in the city.
I know that police chiefs are in a tough position, no matter what city they're serving. It's not an easy job because of all the hard decisions they have to make daily, especially in a huge city like Minneapolis. However, this is the same police department that went after 4 of their own and allowed a criminal to become a saint, a criminal with extensive criminal history to become a martyr. I'm not sure if I should give props to those that still want to serve that particular police department, the Minneapolis Police Department. The fact that the top cop says something so stupid like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the facts say because of people's feelings? Are you serious? So even if the investigation found that the shootings, all the 2 to 3 shootings by the feds were all justified, it still doesn't matter. Facts, investigations, evidence prove it was all justified, and you say it doesn't matter. That is something a law enforcement professional should never say. If I was in uniform, I would be embarrassed to work for a clown like Chief O'Hara. Hey, at least he's got that typical Irish police name. But he is still acting like Fries or Phrase or whatever. It's a little... Think about it. They want to do the investigations on all these shootings, right? Minneapolis and Minnesota, the state, the city, Twin Cities in the state. On these ICE and BP officers related shootings. I'm going to say it because I'm just going to say it. That is what got Officer Chauvin and the other 3 cops convicted of killing George Floyd. Now, Chauvin really did not have any business putting his knee on Floyd's neck. I think that's what really got him. But when you read and see all the evidence involved in that case and everyone involved, at the very least, those officers should have not been charged. They probably fired, worst case scenario, but never charged. They're still, I believe, serving time in federal prison, which is really sad. You go and you work and you're doing the right thing. You think you're doing the right thing because I think they were all relatively new. And then this happens and you're kind of lost. You know, you're a new officer. You're following the senior officer. Senior officer is doing something stupid about putting. So they're probably kind of, wait, man, what you doing? You know, they probably think, well, this is probably normal. We're new. I don't think they had malice. I don't think they had any of that. But yet now they're charged because the people wanted them charged because they wanted to make a martyr out of a criminal. The facts of the evidence, all that stuff should have cleared them. But hey, the people had enough. The people are tired. And for him, Chief O'Hara, to say, we went all year last year arresting violent criminals, offenders, without shooting anybody, is very misleading and very dishonest. I guarantee that department's not applying the law evenly across the board, especially going after violent offenders. Because the way it makes it sound to me is that a lot of those officers are probably afraid of doing their jobs, especially after the whole George Floyd thing. I mean, I'd be hesitant about, you know, putting hands or even pointing a gun at somebody. That's definitely a department that cops, which you'll hear here in a second, actually transfer there. Don't know why you would do that, but hey, it is what it is. But this is the other thing too. You don't have those purple hair nerds yelling and screaming and using those stupid little whistles in front of you as you're trying to do your job. Your cops don't have to deal with that. They did have a taste back during the Floyd riots, but I'm sure that many of those cops are probably looking to just ride it out, finish their term, retire. And others straight up have left. It's a joke. And that's why they're recruiting what they're recruiting today. But to be honest, a major city with 430,000 residents, I mean, and only 600 officers is scary. But again, this is a city that made a martyr of the criminal, made BLM founders millionaires, and now they now they're refusing to help ICE, to help the feds, all because it's a Democratic state, Democratic city, and we have a Republican president. It's the only reason. We can't get their undocumented voters out of there, right? Just like, but they're getting officers. I said I would give props to whoever joins that police department, but this guy is hiring non-citizens because nobody wants to be part of that police department. And they gotta fill in those quotas, right? Yes, he has non-citizen police officers serving the city. Normally, when you have problems recruiting, right? Not many people want to join. You usually go for the rejects, the bottom of the barrel. That's a fact. The officers around the country have been treated like crap for the last probably 18 years, probably more. I don't know. I've been out for 10 years, but it's not a surprise that we're there now. So in case you're wondering, who are these, or who is this non-citizen, and who is this DEI hire or whatever, let me show you. Watch this video.
Department now has its first ever Somali woman officer and permanent resident, which is a non-citizen who's lived in the community since she was a child. Lindsay, you said it, one word that was used a lot tonight, hope. Mayor Jacob Fry says he sees and feels the department building back up, not just in numbers, but in culture. The department now has 23 more officers. That includes 11 recruits and 12 lateral officers. Those are people joining MPD from other agencies. Some have more than a decade of experience.
Just as they're about to take their oaths today before all of you and before God, I know that I have a sacred obligation to do that all I can for them. And I pledge to you tonight that I will do everything within my power to take care of them.
Joining the department, the first ever Somali woman officer, Ikran Mohammed, and permanent resident, Officer Leslie Vera. Vera is a non-citizen, and Chief Brian O'Hara says she was able to join the force due to a recent law change. The two reflected on a big night and new career.
I didn't see anybody that really looked like me, Latina. I'm sure there was, but I didn't see that. And I was like, I want to be like them. And I want to have that face for my people that look like me.
This is what I wanted to do, and it was very challenging. That's why I'm here, and I want to be to be a role model for girls who look like me, so they can say, I can do it too.
So Jacob Fry apparently was excited. Yay! We get to hire based on race and sex to serve the people. DEI hire at its finest. Not the best recruits, I wouldn't think, but hey, they got their first Somali officer, right? And their first non-citizen female allowed to join based on a law that was changed. Congratulations. You got a first. Whatever that means. I mean, I don't know. They're probably going to be good officers. They probably are good officers. They may or may not be there. I don't know. But before you say you're being sexist, you're being racist, etc., I know some really good female cops that I would go to any call with. Some will back you up. Some are better, a 1,000 times better than their counterparts. But there are a lot who skate through their careers playing the whole, well, I'm a girl, so the guy should do that, and I'll just do this. Yep, true story. Got plenty. In common, I'll let you know. But again, police chiefs have it hard, But for Chief O'Hara to go on national TV and make it sound like, the feds are causing this problem. The feds caused this person to die. The feds shouldn't be there in the first place. That's just ignorant. That's political, obviously. This guy works for Fry, right? He's really not. That's unfortunate to be a police chief when you have to answer to a guy like Fry, but it is what it is. But, he goes on national TV, says it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The feds need to be charged. You, sir, are a clown. You're a joke. Later.